What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NLX. My name is Jake, and today I want to share with you guys some basic trick tips for Skater XL. Let's go. And before we get too far into this video, I do want to specify that I am using the stats mod, and that is going to play a pretty big role in how you execute your tricks in this game. So here's the stats that I'm using. I've tweaked them a little bit, but just so you guys know, moving forward, that's kind of where I'm coming from on this video. So in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to make your tricks look better, more stylish, how to get more rotation in your tricks, and how to make that rotation look better. So this is more of a beginner's type video. If you've been playing the game for a while, you likely know all this stuff. But if you're new to the game, maybe you just got it for console, then this video is for you. So first and foremost, the thing I want to talk to you guys about is boning your tricks. So for instance, the easiest way for me to show you guys this is to show you three different types of ollies. So for instance, this is an ollie, this is an ollie, and this is an ollie. All three of those ollies are done basically the same way, but essentially it comes down to what you do with the sticks after you pop the trick. So if I do nothing, it looks like this. If I pull back, it looks like this. And if I push forwards on both the sticks, it looks like that. So typically I think that boned ollies look best, but each type of ollie kind of has its own place depending on what you're trying to do. So say for instance, you're gonna do a manual. It might be better to let the ollie be a little bit rocketed since you're gonna land on the back truck. So kind of like that. But if you're gonna do a nose manual, it might be better to bone the ollie up a little bit because you're gonna be landing on the front trucks. So kind of like that. And that doesn't just apply to manuals, that also applies to grinds, that also applies to certain flip tricks. Really the applications of how, boning your tricks can affect your skating goes pretty far. For instance, say you're trying to do a kickflip. So a regular kickflip looks like that, but you can bone a kickflip like that. And you do that by, after you pop the trick, you're gonna roll the stick you use to flick the trick up. So normally you just flick it to the left, right? Flick the left stick to the left. But if you flick it to the left and then roll it up to the top, it looks a lot better, I think. And that can be really useful for any number of things. Say you're trying to do a flip trick over an obstacle. It really helps to kind of get that tail lifted up to get it, all the way over the obstacle without clipping it. Or it can also help with doing flip tricks into certain grinds. And that kind of naturally leads me to my next point, which is I wanted to talk to you guys about rotation. So what I kind of wanted to talk about explicitly is winding up for tricks. So the way you wind up for a trick, you pull both sticks down to high pop, and then you pull one of the triggers and you'll see him kind of do a rotation. You'll slowly start to kind of curve in that direction, right? And that's winding up. So you do that and then you release the sticks and he's gonna pop and rotate a lot faster than you would if you hadn't, kind of wound up for the trick. Because if you just pull the trigger, it's a very slow rotation. Even if you do the high pop but you don't pull the trigger beforehand, it'll still be a pretty slow rotation. But if you pull the sticks down and then pull the trigger and he winds up, it's much faster. And that can be really useful for any number of things as well, including getting into certain grinds. So say for instance you wanted to do a backside 180 nose grind. It's going to be really difficult to do that just by pulling the trigger. You're going to get into a front nose a lot of the time, and it's going to be kind of difficult to get all the way around. But if you approach the ledge and you wind up first, it makes it a lot easier to get into that grind. I mean, it's still not necessarily an easy trick, but it becomes a lot easier. At least it becomes doable once you learn how to how to properly wind up. There we go. And once you've kind of gotten the hang of the whole concept of winding up, it opens up so many possibilities for different tricks. And lastly, the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about also has to do with rotation, but kind of in a different way. So the game a couple patches ago introduced the power slide mechanic, right? So you power slide by pulling the sticks apart to do a front side power slide, and you power slide backside by pushing the sticks together. This was really difficult for me to pick up on when I first started playing because it's the complete opposite of what it was like in the Skate franchise, where when you wanted to rotate faster, you pulled both sticks to one direction or the other. So this applies to rotation as well. So when you pop, say you're mid pop and you're trying to do a 360, if you push the sticks together while you're in the air, it's gonna tweak the board in a backside direction, and it's going to give you that extra little bit of rotation as well. So it's not just like you just pull the trigger and that's good enough. You kind of put all those things together in conjunction with each other, and that kind of gives you the most control you can really have. So say like for the backside 360s, like that's what it looks like even if I wind up and I don't do anything with the sticks, I just pull the trigger, that's what happens. And now granted, I am using hardcore settings, so it's going to be a little different in the the default settings unless they tweak that for the full release. But you'll probably be able to get that rotation all the way around in default settings. But in hardcore settings, you kind of have to push the sticks together or pull them apart if you want to get that extra little bit of rotation. And not only does that, kind of make it, doable, just doing those tricks, but also can add a little bit of style. You can kind of do it late, and you'll get that kind of revert, kind of skirt sound. And that adds a lot of realism to the skating you can do in this game as well. So if say you want to do a backside flip, you can go 90 degrees and then just push the sticks together as you land, and that will complete the rest of the rotation for you. And depending on what you're trying to do or how you're trying to make your tricks look, you can choose to use that. And that's really up to you, and that's really what's so cool about this game, is that you get to put your own style into the tricks that you're doing. It's not just canned animations. Not every 360 is going to look the same. Some people like to skirt them. Some people like to do a full rotation. Some people are going to wind up, and then some people, you can do it without winding up even. If you do the kind of power slide with it. So it's really up to you on how you want to make tricks look. But unless you kind of fully understand what those mechanics are, it's going to be kind of difficult for you to get the style you're wanting to get. So that's kind of why I wanted to show you guys a couple of these tips, because it's going to make it so you can really take advantage of everything this game has to offer. So guys, that just about wraps it up, and like I said earlier, these are some super basic trick tips to get you guys started in Skater XL, but let me know down in the comments what other trick tips you guys would like to see. And if this video helped you out at all, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more Skater XL content like this. And also you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/NLXGames. I stream pretty much every night of the week except for Mondays and Fridays. So feel free to come check me out on there. It's a pretty good time. But as always guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.